Welcome back to All About Money on HKIBC. I am Chloe Fong. Joining me today is Manoj Dhar, the CEO and co-founder of Integrated Brilliant Education, which is dedicated to empowering ethnic minority children in Hong Kong by teaching them Cantonese. We'll talk more about his organization and the education sector's challenges in the city. Thank you for being on our show. And now, let's also talk about some cheerful news from your organization. I know that recently your company received good news about 7 ethnic minority students made it to the Band 1 schools last fall. So tell us more details about this.
Yeah, I mean, Chloe, see, that's the entire thing. You know, if people don't complicate situations by assigning a person or a child that you are non-English speaking, non-Chinese speaking, you're ethnic minority, ethnic majority. You know, kids are kids. They are very, very focused. They are very determined. So last 2 years, as you know, it's been very difficult for the children, and they were stuck with online learning. So we were fortunate that out of a cohort of 14 of our kids who moved from primary to secondary, 7 went into Band 1 schools. So this is all credit to the children for their mental resilience, for their toughness, for their parents, for the wonderful support the parents give. And of course, for our centers, because, we never took the easy option of doing stuff like work from home or, sorry, it's too hot today, or, the pandemic is too high and stuff like that, because our commitment and our resolve to serve the children and not abandon them at the time where we were required the most was absolute, and that continuity allowed the children to continue to maintain their discipline in terms of studying, reading, writing, and the results are there. You give them half the opportunity, they will take the opportunity, and they will prove themselves.
Right, and also, as you just mentioned, that your organizations have managed to, operating all the classes throughout the pandemic. But I know that, a lot of classes have been suspended or are being forced to shift to online learning, which is a huge challenge because children might not feel comfortable about online learning. So tell us more, how did your organization manage to do that, to provide classes even in face of these challenges?
Sure. So Chloe, I think it just begins from the DNA of our organization. In our case, we are very fortunate that our operational level team, all of our staff felt very, very committed towards this cause. And they said, look, that's fine. We'll come in and we will keep our doors open. We'll be fully operational. So, almost every second the parents were coming in and they were understanding from us, what is Zoom? How do you access Zoom? How do I download this homework for my child? And because, they are living in 100 square feet subdivided places and internet is not stable and all those humongous challenges that they have on a daily life. So we were partners with them all throughout. We educated the parents, we mentored them. We said, look, this is how you have to maintain your child's discipline. Just because it's online and just because sometimes you're not able to access the online learning, please come to us. We are open. We will help you prepare for your child's homework and stuff like that. So long story short, the reason why we were able to keep open while maintaining all social distancing norms and maintaining all laws of the land was because of our institutional and our employee commitment. So that's really the key thing to any organization.
Right. And following that, I'm curious, how many teachers are there in your organization?
Sure. So we are, of course, we are an educational organization. So we are like 99.99% are teachers, educators. So we would have around 22, 23 at any point in time between the two centers. And so that's our team strength.
Right. And also, talking about your personal backgrounds, because I know that you have been working in the finance banking area for a long time. You previously worked with Bank of America for over 11 years. And also you have various business experience and background on top of that. So how did you incorporate your previous banking experience into your new role? And also tell us, what motivated you to get into this area?
Sure. So I think the biggest learning from banking, and this was again when I just started working. So it's one of my bosses who said that, banking has to be not just a transaction, it has to be a relationship. And that is something which has stayed with me all my life. And that is what, and that is how, and why our model is the way it is at IBEL as well. And that is why the children are coming to us 5-6 days a week, because for us, it's a relationship. It's not a one-off class, and it's not that we are doing it on a Saturday or on a Monday or a Tuesday. So that is one important thing. The other important thing is on from the banking perspective, when you're working and you've spent a lifetime working as a working professional, then you develop a certain set of ethics in terms of accountability and in terms of deliverability and in terms of answerability. So that's one thing which I felt was massively helpful in terms of shaping the way we run IBEL. So that was how that helped me transition from banking into this. Yes, I think it's quite a different world compared to where I started with. But yeah, we are always finding ourselves in life, and I think perhaps this was my true calling. And yes, like I said, that it was children, and it was education, and it's about securing the place, which is so wonderful, and it gives you so many good things, and you benefited so much from it. So it just seemed like a no-brainer that the educational marginalization of children for no fault of theirs should not happen. So we would try and do whatever best we can, and we are fortunate that we had a very good board at that point in time when we started. It was all women on the board. Now it has transitioned a little bit, and of course we've got a fantastic set of donors, supporter base, and everything else. So it was like they say, it takes a village to raise a child. It's a massive ecosystem, and we've been fortunate with that.
Great. And I really like the point you mentioned about the relationship. It's also about building the trust, yes, between people and the communities. And also, I'm curious about the Hong Kong's administration's supportive measures on this sector. I mean, how would you rate the current policies in terms of the helps to empower these children to learn languages and to overcome some challenges? How would you rate the current supportive measures? Do you think it's enough?
See, Chloe, I think the Audit Commission report, which came out last year, was very, very clear. And I think I just can barely just cut, copy, paste, because I don't have the broader picture. But I do completely agree with their sentiment that from the perspective of budgeting, from the perspective of providing funding, from the perspective of providing resources and everything else, the Hong Kong government and the EDB has not left any stone unturned. So that's been done to the absolute maximum in terms of helping these children learn Chinese and stuff like that. But I think what has been missing, and perhaps that is what the Audit Commission report was also trying to say, was the accountability. Where are the deliverables when so much amount of money is being spent on the so-called concept of teaching non-Chinese children how to learn Chinese, or how to integrate and how to appreciate the culture and the language and the social fabric? Then why is there such a yawning gap, and why is there that the funds haven't been utilized, or if they've been utilized, the net result wasn't clear, or for that matter, the resources weren't even used properly and fully. So I think that is something, and I'm pretty sure, and I'm very confident that now that the Audit Commission report has also officially said, so it'll also help change this, narrative, and it unfortunately just belittles and disrespects the children, because every time the narrative was that, oh yeah, we need more money, and we need more money, and we need more money. So that's pretty disrespectful to the children, and I thought that was not nice. But I'm super impressed that the Audit Commission has stated that, and I'm pretty sure that the government will be far more. And they've just taken over. I'm pretty sure that they'll be very, very prudent and very smart with how things run here on.
All right, and one last question. What would you hope the government to do in terms of boosting the resources in this area? And also, are there any new plans in your organization's recent development? Just tell us more about this.
So I'll go with the easier one, which is about our new future plans. So our future plans are to set up a kindergarten. And the reason why we are doing a kindergarten is, every challenge, there are two ways to deal with it. One is that you try and deal with the symptoms of the challenge. And so the symptoms in this case, for example, would be unemployment, underemployment, and unemployability of these socioeconomically marginalized segments of Hong Kong. But then by that time, it's too late. And the reason why most of them suffer, and it's a very ordinarily known fact, is because of their language, lack of language proficiency. Now, the way to fix that is cure the cause. And the cure the cause is that at kindergarten level, a school should be an inclusive school. But I think, yes, the recommendations of the Audit Commission of making people more accountable, if it is the delivery platform, or if it is the point of delivery platform that is not being inclusive or that is not providing equal learning opportunities, then that has to be addressed. And the government are the best place. They are the empowered people, so they have a broader picture of where the blockage is and how to deal with it. So if that can be enforced in a more inclusive manner, then yeah, it would be wonderful.
We also hope that Hong Kong can be a more inclusive society. Thank you so much for your thoughts today, Manoj. That's Manoj Dhar, the CEO and co-founder of Integrated Brilliant Education. We'll be back on HKIBC next Sunday night. Until the next time, have a good night.